This is it. Welcome for the first time to Joss and Lowell's Weekly Digest,
where we discuss the goings on from the last week from two millennials that cannot stay off the internet.
Oh my God,
I can't believe it, honestly. I'm gonna giddy.
I was thinking about it non-stop last night. I couldn't get to sleep.
Oh my God, I didn't sleep very well last night. Maybe it's because of that.
Yeah,
tossing and turning I was.
Yeah, literally. It was podcast Eve though.
Yeah, a big
exciting.
day's fun here.
I know.
Welcome everyone. We're very, very excited to have you.
Very. Why do we feel like we've got a crowd?
I don't know. I feel like I'm on a date or something.
You tell me how your life's been. How's life?
I mean, this morning was quite stressful because I did the school run and there was a lot of shouting, a lot of crying, just generally stress. And then you were turning up here at 9:15, and by that point I'd not even brushed my hair, brushed my teeth, had a shower. I'd put on clothes that were on my bedroom floor. So I had like 15 minutes by the time I got home to do everything.
Fab.
But obviously I look stunning now, so I've worked wonders
really
in that
do.
time.
Yeah, you
so.
have. My morning's the same, although I only have one child.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it with four. I did this nursery run this morning, and she did nothing but run away from me for me to get her dressed and have a poo before we walked out the door. So that was nice. Life is just life in at the moment.
Yeah.
So what's on for today?
So on the agenda today, we are discussing Marty Sheargold and the endometriosis comments that he made, which I'm sure we have plenty to say about. I am going to give you a rundown of the Blake v Baldoni saga that is ongoing, because I know you know basically nothing.
Yeah.
And I need you to get up to date because I need to speak to you about it.
Right.
And we're also going to discuss the Danny and Maura kiss, alleged kiss.
Maura
At the Brits. We have to preface this by telling you that we have absolutely no idea what we're doing. We're just winging this. So you just have to bear with us because we sort of don't know what we're doing. We don't know what we're doing. We don't know how anything works.
No.
So just bear with.
Right, so the Marty Sheargold. I have seen so many videos on this, you know.
Yeah, I have. It took over my For You page.
Yeah, it
this
has
week.
me as well. And yeah, it's horrific. His words were, "Don't ladies carry on. Jesus Christ, there is no end of it." And then it's made up.
Yeah.
It's made up.
Yeah. So if you weren't aware, Marty Sheargold, I mean, we weren't aware of his existence before this. He is a comedian / radio host, Australian, who made those comments on his radio show. And I believe from what I've seen, the majority of the people who listen to him are men, which is not good. I didn't realise that it's actually Endometriosis Awareness Month, which is very ironic.
Oh, really?
This month, yeah,
No,
March.
I didn't know that either.
So I mean, neither of us are sufferers, are we?
No.
And obviously know what endometriosis is, and I know how it affects people, but only very vaguely. I've not got anyone close to me in my life who suffers from it either, so I've never really experienced it firsthand. I've never seen anyone suffering from it, really. So I decided to look into this a bit more, and I'm actually like a bit ashamed that I've never done this before, because it affects so many people.
I was the same.
And I think, God, I actually don't like, when I was like making notes about this, talk about it, I thought, I don't really know much about this at all. I know is that it causes pain. Like, I know people have operations for it, struggle to conceive sometimes, but other than that, I thought, I don't really know. So I'm going to tell you some facts.
Go on.
In case you listening also didn't realise. Okay, so endometriosis is a condition where tissue that is similar to the lining of the uterus, which is obviously what you shed when you have a period, grows outside of the uterus.
Yeah.
People may experience severe pain in the pelvis, especially during periods, during sex, or when going to the toilet. Some people may also experience heavy bleeding, even when not on their period, difficulty conceiving, tiredness, bloating, nausea, amongst a host of other symptoms. If I listed every symptom, we would be here for like the next half an hour. It affects 1 in 10 women, which is quite a lot. And globally, that's nearly 200 million women. And as of now, there is no cure. So they basically have to live with it. I think there's things that can ease it, but other than that, it's just
They
unlucky.
go down the anti-inflammatory route.
Yeah, and I think, there's operations they can have and stuff, but other than that, you're never going to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Have you seen his statement they put out?
Yes, his really crap apology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we want to talk about that?
Yeah.
Shall I read it out to you?
Yeah.
Okay, I quote, I mean, obviously, he's only put this out because of all the backlash. I highly doubt he would have done this off his own back. He would have been made to do this. His statement was, any comedy, including mine, can miss the mark sometimes, and I can see why people may have taken offence at my comments. I sincerely apologise. Since this has all happened, him and the radio station have, in quotations, mutually agreed to part ways.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So he doesn't work for them anymore, which I think is the right decision. He has, I mean, I've not seen one single positive thing about him. He's been like condemned online, really.
I can't find him on social media.
Can't you? Well, he's probably, I mean, if I was in his position, I'd probably hide as well.
Yeah.
Because everyone's after him.
He was with Triple M and they've let him go.
Yeah.
And they've said that it's a mutual thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I was Triple M, I would have said, well, no, it wasn't.
Well, they've released a statement saying we do not stand behind him, like we don't agree with what he said, etc. But they're going to say that, aren't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's the right thing that they've let him go.
God, definitely, because they'll be getting backlash from it as well, even though it's him that said it.
Yeah. Like I said, neither of us are sufferers, are we? But you know, when I went into a bit of a rabbit hole looking at this when I was like researching how it affects people and stuff, and I think one of the positives, the silver linings that have come out of this, is that we are now discussing endometriosis, which we wouldn't have been before.
Yeah. And
I now know a lot more about it than I did before. And at the grand old age of 35, it's about time I probably did. And obviously, like I said, it coincides with Endometriosis Awareness Month, which is always good. So I think it's created a bit of conversation about it, which is a positive thing. But I just felt a bit like emotion at times.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the women in the videos that are obviously showing what they've gone through and stuff, and for them to hear someone just say that it's not real.
Yeah, it's so dismissive.
If that was me,
it's
I would have been gutted. I mean, I was gutted watching the videos, but how nice at the same time that every woman has stood up for themselves. Yeah.
And to be fair, for once, I have seen quite a lot of men.
Oh, I have, actually.
Yeah, and that doesn't usually happen very often when it's this kind of situation. But yeah, I think across the board, he's been told that he's very much in the wrong. Yeah. I mean, literally, factually, he's in the wrong. Yeah. Like, what he said is literally incorrect.
He was literally sat in the studio when he was doing that, and he said that with a pain in his back with a hot water bottle.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about this. The irony. Yeah. Seconds before he made those statements about endometriosis. Yeah. He was saying that he was propped up in a chair. Yeah. He had a heat pack on that his female work colleague has brought in for him that she uses for her period pains, and he'd been taking painkillers. And then without any prior discussion of endometriosis or women's health or anything, he just went straight into talking about it. Yeah. That's why it was so like almost shocking what he said, because it came out of nowhere. He just used that excuse to bash women, really.
And he started by saying, it's controversial. There's nothing controversial about it.
It's just
that's just your shitty opinion. Yeah. That is invalid because you're a man that is bone idle to women's problems.
It's literally factually incorrect, firstly, because it's obviously Israel. Yeah. And he is not allowed a fucking opinion. Like, it's nothing that is ever going to affect his life in any way. Yeah. So why even bring it up? I don't understand.
It's ignorance.
So I want to go back to his statement when he says, any comedy, including mine, can miss the mark sometimes, blah, blah, blah. So a few weeks ago, the Avery Woods thing happened online, and she got massive backlash for something she said on a podcast. And in her apology video, she said a similar thing, which was basically like, my comedy is blah blah blah. She basically said, if you don't find it funny, I'm sorry that you don't get what I'm saying or whatever. But I feel strongly about the fact that you can't call something comedy unless it's funny. Yeah. Like that, nothing about that was funny. Your delivery wasn't funny. What you said wasn't funny. So it's not comedy. Yeah. So don't try and mask it by saying that's like a get out of jail free card by saying it's comedy.
It's their opinion that is caused an uproar, and then they all of a sudden make it a joke, just to swipe it away, because these big comedians, you know, it's like dark humor, isn't it? They say jokes and stuff that are like to the extreme about illnesses and stuff, but you know that it is a joke because it's
It's funny.
It's funny. Yeah, they make
and
it
you
funny.
can make a joke at someone else's expense if you do it in the right way, and it's funny. This was not funny in any stretch of the imagination. Like, nobody found it funny. It is not comedy, so don't call it comedy because you're just hiding behind that.
Yeah.
I didn't
Has
like
he got
that.
a wife?
I don't know. I didn't look into that.
I didn't look into that either.
I mean, I hope for her sake
Yeah.
that he books his ideas up, because he's obviously extremely ignorant if he does have a wife.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but
we've educated ourselves on it
we
now.
have educated ourselves, and I hope maybe you listening have maybe learnt something as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can piss off Marty Sheargold, is basically what we think.
And if you're listening,
if you're listening,
you're a
Marty.
I would like to talk about Maura.
Would you?
Maura.
Oh, Maura,
Do you know what?
naughty girl.
Honestly, Maura Higgins, I love her.
Mm-hmm.
She's a babe, and I've
Yeah.
always loved her as well.
Yeah.
But she's really let me down.
Yeah, a lot of people think the same.
Yeah, she has let me down. But the more I've gone digging into it,
Yeah.
so watching the video, you've watched the video, right?
Yes, several times.
So have I. And you can see that they kind of go in, talk to each other or something, or she kisses him on the cheek, and then he goes back in for a proper smooch, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Bearing in mind he has a wife and a child at home.
Yeah.
I don't think she's fully to blame because he's got...
No, of course she's not. Yeah.
But she's done it before.
Yeah.
This is where I'm getting stuck.
I'm always on the women's side until I'm proven otherwise.
Yeah.
And it's not looking good, is it?
No.
I think she's made it really obvious in the past that she absolutely condemns cheating.
Mm-hmm.
Like when she was in, I didn't watch I'm a Celeb when they were on it, but I've seen clips, and one clip that I have seen is where she was talking about when she found out that her ex had been cheating on her, and how she like scrubbed the toilet with his toothbrush.
Yes,
and
I've
she did
seen
this,
that.
So she's obviously very much against cheating.
Mm-hmm. So the lowdown is she went to the Brits. Danny Jones went to the Brits. They've been caught kissing on camera, and the world's gone nuts.
Yeah.
It was only a couple of weeks ago that Maura made a sly dig at Pete Wicks for cheating.
Yeah.
On her.
Yeah.
And now she's been caught kissing
it's not
Danny
good
Jones.
luck, is it?
Loads of people are saying that it's not him.
Yeah.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
Like
In my opinion, it is.
Yeah, it is for me as well.
I think the silence is
Yes.
deafening.
Yes.
If you were a married man and someone was accusing you of very publicly cheating on your wife, you would immediately come out and say, no, it wasn't me.
Yeah.
And he hasn't done that.
Yeah.
And his wife also hasn't made a statement, and neither has Maura. And that tells me that they're scrambling behind the scenes to sort something out PR-wise, and he's probably trying to do a bit of damage control at home. One thing that could be a possibility is that him and his wife have already separated.
Yeah.
I think they're quite a private couple anyway.
Yeah.
And maybe they have separated and not made it public. In which case, what Danny and Maura did is, there's nothing wrong with that, even though it would still sting.
Yeah.
So we just know nothing for sure at the moment because no one's saying anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one's released a statement. It's just I just found the whole thing very weird. Like, why is no one saying
it's their
anything?
silence, because if there wasn't anything wrong with it, they would just ignore what's going on, just carry on with like social media, which is what they normally do. But there's been nothing.
Yeah.
There's been absolutely nothing. And I must say, prior to this, did you see the TikTok that Maura made about fucking someone?
No.
Did you not see it?
Please enlighten me.
Honestly. So she's like obviously having her makeup done, her hair done, whatever. So she was lip syncing on this TikTok video about her fucking him. But obviously it doesn't quote who, but it's like a teasing kind of sexual video that no one knows who she's talking about. But could this have been aimed at Danny? I think it's been a bit of a build-up, to be honest, because they've got to have been. They're in the jungle together.
Yeah,
they've got to have had
a lot of time together in the jungle.
They've got to have had some interest in each other. If this is,
and they're both very
on.
young and attractive and successful and rich. Do you know one thing that baffles me, right? Whenever anything like this happens, obviously we've got that video and everyone's like dissecting that video. Why the fuck does it look like it's been filmed on a Nokia 3210?
I know.
Because we live in the age of an iPhone 16.
But have they properly zoomed in?
Well, they must have, but I just think You could zoom in on an iPhone 16 from here to across the road. You could fucking see that. It's crystal clear still.
Yeah.
So what's going on?
Don't know.
The whole thing is just very
weird. Or is that to make it like everyone speculate?
Well, this is what I mean. I don't know. And it's the Sun, which is just a rag that's put it out there, and you can't trust anything that they say. I don't know. We're just going to have to wait. We can't really say anything else until someone says something. Yeah. Can we?
But I do love you, Maura.
Do you?
I do love Maura. Yeah.
I feel
But at the same time, Danny is the one that's married, if he is still.
Yeah, I don't like what I've seen online from women absolutely condemning Maura and saying nothing about Danny. If it's like, let's just presume that they kissed at the Brits, he's still married, right? Both of them are in the wrong. He is more in the wrong. Yeah. He's married with a child. Yeah. And I'm not trying to defend her at all, because if that was my husband, I wouldn't be very happy. Yeah. Yeah. If my husband was snogging Maura Higgins, I would not be happy about it. No. But he's the one with a wife and a child at home. Mm-hmm. The vitriol towards Maura is, in my opinion, been well overinflated compared to what Danny has received. You can't just kiss a married man, okay? You can't just go around kissing married men, okay? From what I know about men, right, and Danny is only a man, as lovely as he is.
He is a married man.
He's been with his wife for a very long time.
Yeah.
And he's got this new lease of life after going on I'm a Celeb. He's probably being invited everywhere. He's getting loads more attention. It's gone to his head. Fucking stunning Maura Higgins is showing him a bit of affection, possibly. Yeah. And he's ran with it. Yeah. And she's younger and not got any kids. And it's the same old story every time. They get bored with the wife. Yes. The wife who's at home looking after the kids.
Makes me feel sick. So, yeah, I know. I'm going to have to ring my partner in a minute. I'm going to break up with him after this, actually. If I was Maura now, I would be feeling really, in all kinds of ways, guilty.
But she doesn't seem like the kind of person to give a fuck.
Do you think?
Yeah, I don't think she gives a shit.
But if she was at home with the child...
Well, exactly, yeah. One thing I did see, and I wasn't able to verify this information, but they do say that you lose them how you get them. And I have heard...
Yes, I have.
That Danny met his wife whilst...
with someone else.
Yeah.
That's what happens. You get with him when he's already with someone. You never trust him. And then he does it again, and the new person will never trust him.
Yeah,
and then
in 15 years' time, after you've had his kids, and you're a bit older, and your tits are a bit saggier, and then some young, hot thing comes along, why would he not do it the same thing to you? Yeah. Anyway, on that note...
No, I was quite passionate about that.
Yeah, we might be discussing that again next week, depending on what they come out with this week. I'm very interested to see how this develops, because this is basically a PR crisis.
Oh, also, loads of people are saying that it's Chris Hughes.
Yeah,
but Chris Hughes has put a story on Instagram saying that it's not.
Who'd have thought we'd still be talking about Chris Hughes?
Don't know.
What does he do?
I don't actually know, you know. I think he likes golf. I think he likes golf. He's a bit of a farmer, I think.
A bit of a farmer?
I think so, yeah. He's a bit of a country boy, actually. Yeah.
Okay. Danny Jones, I was a Top McFly fan. I'm very, very disappointed if this is true.
I'm invested. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it.
Yeah.
Oh, this one. Right, just so before you start with the Blake situation, I know nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
I know absolutely nothing.
Okay.
So this is going to be very interesting.
Okay.
Go on then.
This is a very, very long story, but I've had to, obviously, I'm just giving you a summary.
Blake, by the way.
The Blake,
is Serena.
Serena from Gossip Girl.
I love Serena.
That's where people know her from.
Right, okay.
Since then, people know her for being married to Ryan Reynolds, basically.
Right.
And she's very good at a red carpet.
Yeah.
She slays a red carpet.
She's hot.
I have to give her that. She's
so hot. Yeah.
So, this is a very, very complicated story. I'm going to miss out a lot of bits to give you a brief summary. The class is in session. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay. We have three main characters to this story. Yeah. Obviously, Blake Lively, who is the lead actress in a film called It Ends With Us. Right. The film is what this thing is all based around.
Right.
We have Justin Baldoni, who is the lead actor in that film and also the director. He owns the rights to the film. He's like the big boss.
Right.
So he's acting as her love interest.
Yeah.
And her boss, basically, on this film. Then we have Ryan Reynolds, who is obviously Blake's husband, very rich, famous, successful actor.
Yeah.
Baldoni wanted to keep the film as close to the book, because it was a book originally by Colin Hoover.
Yeah.
Wanted to keep it as close to the book as possible. Blake wanted to put her own stamp on it. They tussled back and forth for a while about this. She was eventually given control over a few things. One of those things was her character's wardrobe. Her wardrobe choices in this film went down like a lead balloon. There was some very odd fashion choices, and it also didn't match up with her character at all.
Right.
She was basically mercilessly mocked online for this as well. So there is some very, I mean, I'm not for online bullying. I mean, I wouldn't call it bullying at that point, but people just taking the piss.
Oh, really?
Like, because she would wear her character is supposed to be a florist, right? So she's on her feet all day in a florist.
Yeah.
And she's got like Louboutins on.
Oh, no.
And like a jumpsuit. And she wears like 2 pairs of trousers, one on top of the other, with the other one like back. It's very odd. Loads of beanies. Just not right.
Right.
But I think Baldoni sort of backed down on that to let her have something. I think he just sort of wanted to shut up.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So that didn't go well. There were plenty of other disagreements as well. They were basically fighting for control the whole time. It actually led to the production being delayed because they just couldn't fucking agree on anything.
Oh,
right. So
yeah.
the atmosphere is not great on the set of It Ends With Us. Enter at this point Ryan Reynolds.
Right.
Who holds more influence than the two of them put together, I would say. On paper, he has absolutely no involvement in this film, but he sort of meddled his way into it. He actually ended up rewriting a whole scene that he's not been credited for or anything, but that's what happened on set. That scene hasn't been received well by the public. They preferred Justin Baldoni's original idea for the scene.
God, it's all kicking off.
It's all kicking off. There's other things as well in the background of this that's going on, that's all building up to this massive thing. The whole production of the film just became a tussle for control between Baldoni and Blake and Ryan. And Baldoni being the sort of, even though he has the rights to the film, he's the director, they are just Hollywood heavyweights, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're a power couple, basically, and they hold a lot of influence, and he kind of loses a lot of his creative control over the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so fast forward now to the press tour. This is where people started noticing that something wasn't right about this movie.
Right.
So,
go on.
Honestly, I want you to watch some videos of this after.
Okay, I'm going to.
Okay. Yeah, some people started to realise something wasn't quite right between the people involved in the movie. So there was a lot of talk about people not following each other online and people not doing interviews together, people not being in photos together. And it wasn't just Blake and Justin.
Yeah.
It was a lot of people and Justin. Like, Justin seems to do everything on his own.
Right.
No one followed him on social media.
Oh.
Which to the outside looks like, well, what has he done wrong then?
Yeah.
Because if everyone's not following him, no one wants to be on a red carpet with him and no one wants to do interviews with him, what's he done wrong?
Yeah.
So at that point, everyone was speculating what happened, but no one was saying anything.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, Blake's press interviews that she did for this, which is about domestic violence,
right,
which is obviously a very serious subject, they were extremely tone deaf and completely off the mark, to the point where people were going to watch this film and expecting it to be some sort of like chick flick or rom-com, and it was actually about DV.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was obviously a prime opportunity to like raise awareness.
Yeah.
And she didn't do any of that, and that kind of rubbed people up the wrong way as well.
Yeah. I don't know how I didn't know any of this.
Yeah. So, since then, Blake Lively has filed a lawsuit against Justin Baldoni and others who are involved in the film. And Justin has now countersued Blake and Ryan Reynolds for hundreds of millions of dollars. This is like, it's a big deal. At some point during all of this, things went up a notch. You know how I said no one followed Justin, no one wanted to do anything with him. Things went up a notch when Blake Lively accused Justin Baldoni of sexual harassment. So this obviously caused a massive backlash to Justin Baldoni. He was being absolutely condemned online. After a while, he responded by releasing, obviously he's the director of the film, he has all the footage from everything, because they call them the dailies, which is where it's the footage of the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, so they'll have basically the whole day filmed. He has released the footage of the moment that Blake accused him of,
right, okay,
you know,
yeah,
I don't know whether it's sexual harassment or sexual assault, But he's put that online for people to see because he's confident that he didn't do what she's accusing him of doing.
I would do the same.
So the public opinion after that was then swayed in Justin Baldoni's favour because it was quite obvious to most people. Some people agree with her, but most people looked at the footage and thought he didn't do anything.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
What?
And I thought she is making a mountain out of a molehill.
Really?
Yeah.
What did he do in the video?
So the scene was them two like kind of slow dancing and like smiling at each other, and there's like people in the background, they're in a bar or something, and like I said, he wanted to keep it as close to the book as possible, and in the book his character like nuzzles into her neck and like whispers something in her ear or something like that, and he did that in the scene. She said, you know, I wasn't comfortable with how I think she said he brushed his lips against me, and he said that I smelt nice or something like that, something along those lines. And I think he did do those things, but it was very kind of innocent.
Yeah. But did he need to say that in her ear? Could you hear it on the film? Like, was it part for the film? Or did he whisper something weird in her ear for no reason?
No, I don't listen, this is only my opinion. Things are coming out all the time about this, and people and opinions being swayed either way. But from that specific thing, I don't think Justin Baldoni was in the wrong.
Right.
Okay. So after he released that footage, everyone was like, "What the fuck is she going on about? He didn't do anything wrong." Public opinions then swayed back in Justin Baldoni's favour. Then more stuff started coming out, like that made people feel sorry for him actually, and he'd been completely ostracised on his own film.
Yeah.
Because Blake and Ryan hold so much weight.
Yeah.
And everyone wanted to be their friend, basically.
Yeah.
And it's very much gone the opposite way now that everything has sort of become more clear. And Justin Baldoni is actually the party who is kind of has been victimised.
Right.
And it seems that Blake and Ryan have just used their influence in the wrong way.
Oh, really?
Basically. They've both got like complete like whole teams now of people working for them. There've been like text released, voice notes released. He has released a full website of statements of all this information, like all the screenshots of the text between the two of them. It goes on and on and on. There is so much. It's an onion. There's lots of layers.
Yeah.
The court date for this is March 2026.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so it's still a year away that we've got to wait. I think it will be an Amber Heard, Johnny Depp kind of situation.
Do you?
Yeah, I think it's going to be massive.
Yeah. It's going to go on for ages.
Oh, it will. One thing that people are speculating about, there's no proof, is that maybe there were feelings involved between the two of them.
Right.
And so there's a story.
Right.
So Ryan Reynolds was filming Deadpool Wolverine at the same time. So him and Blake weren't really seeing each other very much. They were both so busy.
Yeah.
He came home at some point and realised, this is all speculation, all alleged, right? He, we think, realised that Blake was a bit gooey-eyed over this bloke.
Right.
And didn't like it, as you wouldn't.
Yeah.
But because he is who he is, he just, like, quite soon after that, stormed onto set. Like, people have said that worked there, he stormed onto set, uninvited, no one knew he was coming. And from that moment, he was then very involved in the film.
Yeah.
The public opinion of Ryan Reynolds has gone very much south since this has happened. There's been other things as well. Like, I could just go on and on about this.
So they were the power couple. Everyone loved them.
Yeah, now not so much.
Now, yeah.
I mean, Taylor Swift's been mentioned in this as well. The Swifties are not happy about that. Taylor Swift has since distanced herself from Blake Lively, who is her best friend. Blake Lively basically used Taylor Swift's name in texts to Justin Baldoni to kind of make it known that she has powerful
No, she never.
friends. Yeah, when they were talking about, she was trying to do something else that he didn't want her to do with the film, like rewrite a scene or something like that, and she was saying, I think it should be like this, and he was saying, well, I want it like this.
Yeah.
And she would basically, without saying it explicitly, she said, well, I have friends in high places and they all think that mine's better, kind of thing.
No, I don't like that.
No, I don't either.
That's so bad.
And there's lots of instances where that's the case with Blake and Ryan. Things have been dug up from the past. Blake's old interviews where she's perhaps not been the friendliest.
See, that makes me sad because I think of Serena.
Yeah, I know.
Think of Serena.
I know.
And I loved Gossip Girl.
Yeah, I love Gossip Girl.
Love Gossip Girl.
But yeah, that's the lowdown.
And I've been living under a rock. I mean, these women that have been sexually assaulted and whatnot, it's things like that you're saying that was nothing.
Yeah.
That
It's so damaging.
It is so damaging, yeah.
Because
and
women aren't believed at the best of times anyway.
Yeah.
It's things like sexual harassment and sexual assault are just so brushed under the carpet, and women don't even tell anyone half the time. So then when something so public like this happens, and it turns out that actually I'm not saying that it didn't happen, right, but from what we know at the moment, it looks like she just kind of tried to defame him.
And if that is the case, that is disgusting.
Yeah, it could ruin his life.
Yeah.
And he has a very long history, it turns out now, of being a real strong advocate for like women's rights.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like supporting women who have suffered from domestic violence. Like he'd won awards for that and stuff. And when this came out, and when Blake publicly accused him of that, they stripped all his things away from him. So it's already had a massive effect on his life. He's happily married as well. He's got children.
It's affected his whole life then, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. So.
And sometimes, even when you've been accused and you are innocent, you still can't get everything back that you had.
Name forever,
yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah. So there we go. That was the news.
I'm going to keep up to date with it. But the court case being next year, that's ages away.
It's so annoying.
It's my anxiety. Did I tell you that I can sing? Do you know that I can sing?
Go on then.
It's my anxiety. Somebody's watching me.
Gorgeous, darling.
You've got to do like the wobble at the end.
The vibrato.
Yeah. Somebody's watching me. It's my anxiety.
You're through to the next round.
Thank you.
Right, Oscars.
Right.
Should we have a brief chat about the Oscars?
Go on then.
There wasn't much salacious gossip from there.
No.
But we did see Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet. Why are you looking at me like that?
Because I haven't seen it.
Well, they didn't do anything,
Right.
but I just quite like them together.
Okay.
I've come to the decision. I have actively avoided consuming any kind of Jenner Kardashian content for the past couple of years.
Why?
I'm just sick of them.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I'm just so bored of them.
I've never watched the Kardashians, by the way.
Oh, do you know what? It used to be so good.
Yeah.
Like the first few years, it was really almost like unedited. It was funny.
Yeah.
They were all a bit wild. They didn't hold anything back, and it was so funny and interesting. And they were just kind of this wild, like Brady Bunch family, and they still all lived together then as well when it started. So they were just all in the same house, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
But as time's gone on, it's just got more and more edited and more fake, and I'm just not interested anymore. I'm just so bored of them. I've been like fucking bombarded with them for so many years now.
Yeah.
I'm sick of the sight of them.
Yeah.
I just thought, do you know what? Because I actually blocked them all online. I thought, I don't want to see you.
Really?
I don't
That
want
bad?
to see you anymore.
You had enough that
I'm
much?
sick of you. I really, really, really don't like the fact that they've all had a lot of work done, which I don't have a problem with. You do what you want. But they are so influential to young girls especially, and they all lie about it.
Yeah.
And none of them are honest about the fact that they've obviously, to anyone with a brain and eyes, have had a lot of plastic surgery.
Oh my God.
And they have an endless amount of money, so they have their hair and makeup done every day. Like, it's not
a realistic
it's
lifestyle.
not realistic. And, you know, Kylie Jenner told everyone that she just hit puberty and her lips turned out like that. And I don't like that. I don't like that.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I just don't like that.
Yeah,
Right.
I've never been one to follow them anyway, to be honest.
So I've always loved Courtney. She's always been my fave. And I've kind of just watched the others because they were entertaining.
Yeah. The thing is with people like that, people just follow the crowd. So you've got loads of people that really like them, whatever. Like, so I probably follow them on social media, but I never see any of their stuff because it doesn't come up. But they don't interest me.
No.
I'm more for the tired, overstimulated mum coming on the screen, no makeup on, hair slapped back and greasy and all that. And that's what I want to see. I like aesthetic stuff. So it's pleasing, it's eye pleasing, isn't it, to watch?
Yeah.
But I'm not down for it.
We started talking about Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet at the Oscars. Forget them. We're talking about something else now.
Yeah.
Obviously, the two of us are online, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're very small creators in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
So I feel like a comment that, I don't know about you, but the comment that I get a lot is that, like, people can relate to me and I'm realistic. And that's really nice. But I often think about the fact that there's been a lot of creators that have also started from nothing and also once lived in a small house and didn't have any money, and people have followed them and supported them, and they've eventually, after a few years, become very successful and they earn a lot of money, and that affords them a different lifestyle, and they now live in a big house and they drive a Range Rover and they go on 5 expensive holidays every year, and people can't relate to them anymore, like the average person. Yeah. And then they're vilified for it. I don't like that.
Yeah, no, I don't like that. Thing is, if they stay the same, it doesn't change them as a person.
Yeah.
Then yeah, fine, because people are so invested in people's lives on TikTok. If you do something wrong, they are bringing you down.
Oh my God, yeah, tell me about it. I feel like people support people until they're doing better than them, and then they don't like it. Yeah. Not everyone, but a lot of people are like that. Yeah. That's what worries me a little bit.
Why?
I think, like, sometimes I think
because we're going to make it, and then we're going to
be absolutely massive, and we're going to be earning so much money soon.
Really?
Yeah. That people
are
going to look at us and think.
Mine says that I'm going to have financial trouble.
Which, if you're listening to this podcast, me and Lauren are actually paying to do this at this point because we're not earning anything from this, and we fucking paid out loads of money. We bought fluffy pens and notebooks with our names on them, microphones.
Do you know why we've done it?
Why?
So that we can have an hour of therapy a week.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah. It's not... We've done it for us, I think.
Yeah, we actually don't care about you.
Yeah.
We don't care if you like this or not.
I'll go to sleep listening to this.
Look,
tonight.
Until you lot are paying our bills from all the ads we're going to put on this podcast in a few months, we don't give a shit what you think. So how do you think the first podcast's gone, Lol?
I felt like we had a crowd at first.
I did as well. And I was a bit nervous, didn't we?
Really, like, nervy.
So we've been talking about nothing but this for like the past week or so. Like, we've been planning so much and talking about every little detail, and then now it's come to it, and we both got here and sat in our little chairs, and then we were like, oh.
And we literally only had the conversation 1 week ago today that we were going to do it, and we've done a heck of a lot in a week.
Yeah, we have. We've had meetings and everything. I'll have you know, listener. If you've listened to this, you are our OG.
Absolutely.
Our OG fact. There's probably only one of you.
Yeah.
So you are our number one original gangster
Yeah.
who's listened to the Jocelyn Long Weekly Digest.
And we love you.
And we love you.
Maybe we should, like, sing a goodbye.
Well, what's a good... Goodbye, my friend. What's some other goodbye songs? Goodbye, my lover.
Yeah.
Goodbye, my friend.
You have been the one.
You've been the one for me. That is the Weekly Digest.
That is the Weekly Digest. And we
hopefully this time next week there'll be some more absolutely hot tea to spill.
Whatever tea there is, we're on it.
Yeah. Please let us know on our socials if you would like us to discuss anything in particular, and we'll have a look into it. Thank you so much for listening.
It's been emotional.
It has been emotional.
Thank you.
And I'm very proud of us.
I am.
Should we have a little cheers?
Yeah.
Okay, cheers.
Cheers.
Bye. Bye. We love you.
Bye. Love you. Bye.